the youth who will change it. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "An individual has not started living until he can rise above the narrow confines of his individualist concerns to the broader concerns of all humanity." We, as humans, are naturally self-centered and sometimes very arrogant in placing our own comforts above the needs of others. We focus on our own problems when there is a bigger problem facing the entire human species, not to mention the global ecosystem: climate change. Every day, the air grows warmer. Every day, glaciers are melting. More than 1 million species are bound to become extinct due to this growing problem. The problem of climate change is probably the biggest of 2020, and it is up to us, the generation born after the year 2000, to help the climate for the better. However, there are people out there who have used their voices and spoken up. In Sweden, a 16-year-old girl named Greta Thunberg has organized protests on climate change and given speeches to important world leaders about global warming. When speaking to an assembly of world leaders, she said that they had taken away her childhood, following her famous "how dare you" rhetorical question. Only 16, Greta has demonstrated how young teens like us can speak up in the world, notify the world of the growing problem of climate change, and help the world from impending doom. Another example of people who spoke up for our world is Boy and Sloth. Despite becoming extremely seasick when traveling over water, Sloth has invented and built an unmanned machine that travels through the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. The garbage patch is not just a patch, but a big bundle of garbage, twice the size of Texas. The machine has raised awareness of the problems of pollution. Pollution may not be as direct as Greta's climate change, but the studies show that pollution does correlate with climate change. Microplastics and waste in the oceans generate greenhouse gases, which contribute to climate change. Boy and Sloth is only 25 years old and founded his company at the age of 18. He is an excellent model of what young people can do to help climate change. But how can we help change the world? There are, of course, the little actions: turning off the lights when you leave the house, riding your bike to school. But there are bigger actions too. For example, my sisters and I fundraise for organizations every summer by performing outside and accepting donations. There are plenty of organizations out there that fight climate change, such as Cool Earth, Coalition for Rainforest Nations, or Sandbag. You can also join activist groups such as Greta's Fridays for Futures. All of these little actions of speaking up will build up to our generation being the heroes of the planet Earth. Our generation has been put with the task of fighting climate change. Scientists say that if we continue our wasteful habits for another 20 years, there will be no turning back. We need to cut power emissions by 40% to survive another 100 years. As Greta says, "I don't want you to be hopeful. I want you to be panicked." We must feel panic to make change. For dozens of years, we have procrastinated on the problem of climate change. Whatever it is, whether it be turning off the lights when you leave the house or fundraising for climate change organizations, every small thing will add up. Thank you.